Hi, everyone, and welcome to another round of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I am JB, this time teeing it up for Tucker Barnhart, catcher of the Cincinnati Reds. Tucker, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Before we put the gear on today, we got some tougher spots for you. This will be a pickle. The fans will get fired up. I know Twitter's already alive. Hashtag Chatting Cage is how you get questions in the show that way. Even better, be a part of the show. Fire up your mobile device, fire up your webcam, get FaceTime with Tucker Barnhart here in the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. While we wait for the fans to join us, I'm going to go to Twitter. This is from numbers_game02. What was your welcome to the big leagues moment, Tucker?
I think for me, growing up in the Midwest, I got a chance to watch a lot of Cardinals games, and ironically enough, I made my debut against the Cardinals, and Yadier Molina came to the plate, and he was a guy that I always watched growing up because he was always on TV, and it was something that he told me, good luck, congratulations, welcome to the big leagues, and it kind of hit me. It was like, holy cow, I'm in the big leagues. So I'd have to say that was my welcome to the big leagues moment.
No doubt having Yachty say to another catcher, hey, congratulations, good to see you. That's a fine moment right there.
Definitely. Something that I really thought was really cool and something I'll never forget.
Certainly a great moment there. Another great moment coming up right now. We got a fan in the chat cage. What's your name? Where you're from? What is your question for Tucker?
I'm Matthew from New Jersey. I want to know, this season you had a walk-off hit. What was that like?
That was it was incredible, really. Obviously, in the big leagues or any level, you'll take any win that you can get. That was my first career professional walk-off hit, so it was something that was really special to me and something that I'll never forget. And I was just happy that I could come through for my team.
A great moment for Tucker, and then obviously for the Reds. Always great to have that highly emotional moment, the walk-off, where you know that's the last thing that's happening in that game. I'm going to go now back to Twitter, hashtag Chatting Cage again, folks, if you want to get your questions in. Matthew Wegner wants to know, Tucker, have you ever had to catch for Aroldis Chapman, and if so, what is that like?
Yeah, I caught Aroldis the last 2 seasons, and it's something unlike anything else in the major leagues or anything else, or any baseball level for that matter. The guy throws 102-3 miles an hour. It hurts your hand definitely after after you do it for a little while, especially if it's a little cold out there. But it was a lot of fun, and definitely something that I had a blast doing. And I wish Aroldis, obviously he's not with us anymore, but I wish him all the best. And I just hope he doesn't pitch too well when he plays us.
2 parts of that really good to know. Maybe not so great when he's facing you guys, and also you got to wear the mitt with the extra padding when you're facing or catching for Aroldis.
Exactly.
That's Tucker Barnhart. I'm JB. A fan is in the cage. What's your name? Where you're from? What is your question for Tucker?
My name's Olivia. I'm from Cincinnati. My question was, what's the most challenging part about being a major league catcher?
Man, that's a tough question. There's a lot of them. I would say just being prepared every single day to face a different lineup and knowing what you have to do to be able to game plan for them and have success with a different pitcher every day, and most of the time facing a different lineup that has some different people in it each day. So there are a lot of challenges, but if I had to pick one, I would say it's just being able to get ready for a different lineup each and every single day.
Tucker Barnhart answering your questions here in the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. You can get some FaceTime and fire up your mobile device, your webcam, get answers like that. What's the toughest thing about being a catcher? Get that question in directly to him. Get me out of the way. Nobody wants to listen to me. We got another fan with us. What's your name? Where you from? What's your question for Tucker?
Hi, I'm Matt from New Hampshire. And my question is, how much preparation do you have with the pitcher pregame? And what would you look at statistically to make sure you have the best advantage?
I'll answer your second part of that question first. We get a scouting report before every series that's usually between, I would say, 30 and 40 pages long. And if you start to look at that too much, I think it can hurt you. So there's just for me personally, what I look at is I look at what the hitter does, or what pitch the hitter hits the best. And basically I try to keep it as simple as that. to answer the first part of your question, before every series, each series we have a reliever meeting before the first game and go over their usual starting lineup and then their bench guys and what they do on certain pitches and how often they swing at the first pitch and things like that. And then every day before the game starts, the starting pitcher and the starting catcher, we go over the game plan for that day, for that specific lineup, and for that specific pitcher. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into it, not only with the starting pitcher, but with the relievers as well.
Thanks for letting us behind the door there as how Tucker preps for his game. Great question from fan Matt. And there you go, folks, an idea of the level of preparation and what it takes to be a catcher in the big leagues. I'm going to go back to the MLB fan apps right now, MLB fans app right now. This one is from Tiff, and this is a follow-up to that in-depth preparation. Tucker, how do you not flinch when a ball is coming at you at 90 miles an hour?
I still do every once in a while because when the hitter swings, or you blink, it's tough to see sometimes, especially when the bat gets in front of your eyes when the pitch is coming. But I've caught for a long time, so I'd like to think I don't do it very much. But it's hard to not do it sometimes. So I would say that I still do it. I don't do it frequently, but I still do have times where I flinch.
Just a whole lot of practice, and even then, still every once in a while, you got to do it. It's just human nature. That's Tucker Barnhart of the Cincinnati Reds. I'm JB. This is Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Hashtag Chatting Cage for Twitter. Fire up the MLB Fans app and join the show any way you can via any device. It's now time for the EDJ question of the day. Tucker, what is your dream vacation?
Man, my dream vacation. I've always wanted to go to Italy. I'm a big fan of like the Roman times, and I would love to go over to Italy and spend a couple weeks and just sightsee and see a bunch of different things and learn as much as I possibly could. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Italy, one of the great locations to travel to without a doubt. Rome, absolutely remarkable. So I wish you best of luck in that. I think you'll have a great time when you go somewhere and you sit in the city.
I hope I can get over there.
And the Coliseum is in the middle of a town. It's pretty amazing. You're like, this is the original Coliseum. Another fan steps into the cage. What's your name? Where are you from, fan? And what's your question for Tucker?
Matthew from Columbus, Ohio. Tucker, who is the hardest pitcher you've faced?
Hardest pitcher I've faced. Oh, man. There's a lot of them. The guy that threw against us last night, Noah Syndergaard, is kind of, I would have to say, probably the toughest guy that I've had to face. I'd like to face him again. I didn't play last night because it's fun. I mean, those are the guys that you want to face. The toughest and the best pitchers on the other teams are the guys that you want to get in there and battle with. And I'd have to say Jake Arrieta also is up there. So there's a few guys I would say that are very similar as far as their toughness, but everybody's tough in the big leagues. It's why they're here, and it's a battle every night, that's for sure.
This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. That's Tucker Barnhart of the Reds. We go back to the MLB Fans app. This from Sinreds 39. Tucker, if you weren't a catcher, what position would you want to play?
Oh man, I'm not very fast, so this won't apply. Like I won't ever be able to do it, but I would love to play center field. I shag fly balls in BP during batting practice, and I have a blast doing it. And I always give our outfield coach Billy Hatcher a tough time to throw me out there and see what happens. But I know it won't ever happen. But I'd love nothing more to play center field. I think it'd be a blast.
Good to know. And an honest self-scouting report. We always appreciate that here in the cage. It's important. Following up on that and what it's like to be a Cincinnati Red. I know you're a Hoosier originally, but let's go back to Twitter now. This is from Tonester5. Who's the funniest guy on the Reds team?
Funniest guy on the Reds team, man. We got a lot of characters. Tyler Holt's up there. He's a funny guy. We hang out off the field too, so we have a good time. I think Eugenio Suarez is very funny. There's a lot of guys in the clubhouse that keep it really light, and it's fun to be here. We got a great group of guys.
It sounds like there is a good cast of characters there, and it sounds like the Reds are in good shape for the season 2016, both on the field and off the field. Always key to success. Also key to the success of this show, fans. Hey, fan, what's your name, where you're from? What's your question for Tucker?
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm from New York. I was wondering, what's your advice for young players looking to get into majors?
Oh, man. Let's see. Let me think about that for a second. I would say that you got to have as much fun as you possibly can. I know it's kind of cliche, but my dad always told me growing up that play as long as it's fun. And in the day that it stops being fun, you probably should go find something else to do. And I try and go by that every single day I come to the field and not take it as a job. I would say have as much fun, play as much as you possibly can, because I think the experience of playing will only make you better. You can hit in the cage as much as you possibly can. You can play catch as much as you possibly can, but playing games is where your experience develops, and I feel like you become a better player. But most of my advice would have to be just to have as much fun as you possibly can and enjoy every minute that you're on the field.
Pretty remarkable advice there from Tucker. Pretty good strategy no matter what you're applying it to throughout life or whatever field you're in. I go back to the MLB Fans app, and it's come up a couple of different times. I'll read this one from Sinreds Pro. How did you throw that runaround from your knees?
Ironically enough, I think that's the first time I've ever thrown somebody out from my knees. It was just kind of a spur of the moment thing. We've been working on it. We worked on it in spring training a little bit, just to do it just in case. In case a situation would come up that you would have to do it, and I felt like it was the best shot I had to throw him out, and just lucky that I got a throw close to the bag, and Brandon caught it and put a really good tag on the guy.
Teamwork a key to it, and also being prepared. Once again, kids, be prepared. That's basically Tucker's message to everybody, by the way, if you haven't gathered that up. I go back to Twitter, again, hashtag chatting cage, and then I will read it, like this one from @Wilson_Eddie. What's your favorite sport outside of baseball?
I'm a huge basketball fan, so the NBA for me is one of my favorite things to watch, and the fact that the playoffs are going on right now is it's a great time of year for me. I grew up in Indiana, obviously, and I'm a huge Indiana Pacer fan, so I'm locked into as many Pacer games as I possibly can. As the season gets closer, I don't get to catch as many, but this offseason, my wife and I probably went to, I would say, 10 or 12 games. So we frequent Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, and I thoroughly enjoy watching basketball.
Yeah, I believe as a Hoosier, you have to enjoy basketball. I'm not sure you're given the option.
I think it's in the blood.
it's just in the water supply there in Indiana, without a doubt.
Exactly.
That's Tucker Barnhart of the Cincinnati Reds, formerly of Indiana. This is the Ever Jones Chatting Cage. Another fan joins us right now. What's your name, where you're from? What's your question for Tucker?
Hey, Tucker. I'm Troy, and I'm from Virginia. I'm going to be at the game against the Pirates May 9th, sitting in left field. I wanted to know if you could hit me a home run ball.
It'll be tough to hit one out there because it's a deep left field. But if I'm playing, we'll see what we can do. Hopefully somebody will hit you one out there. It might not be me, but if somebody hits you one out there, it would be good for us as a ball club. So hopefully there's a couple.
I like that strategy. That was well answered, Tucker. I like you to say either you or a Red, but somebody will do it, and Troy will get to you out there on May 9th. Fans are lining up to be a part of the show.
Hopefully it's just the Reds, though.
That's
just
right.
The Reds.
Well, it's the only one that matters for Troy. Clearly just wanted to be a Red. And if it is a Red, you made it happen. You mentioned it to him before he went in the box.
There you go.
This is the Ever Jones
Exactly.
I go back to the MLB Fans app. Tucker, who was your idol baseball player and your favorite team when you were growing up?
That's a tough question. Player-wise, it's easy for me. I was a huge Chipper Jones fan. He was one of the main reasons I became a switch hitter. I always wore my socks high because Chipper Jones wore his socks high when he was early in his career. I don't do it anymore, but that's what I did as a kid. And for the team question, I really didn't have a team growing up. I know that's doesn't really answer the question, but growing up in Indiana, there wasn't ever a major league team there, obviously, but there were a lot of teams around that were always on TV. the Braves were always on TBS, the Cubs and the White Sox were always on WGN, and then the Reds were always on Fox Sports. So I liked all of those teams, I guess, just because I love to watch baseball, and so whichever game was on, I felt like I found myself watching it. So I didn't necessarily have a team growing up. So sorry, I can't really answer that question.
I think you answered it quite well. Chipper Jones gets the big star as the guy that you looked up to growing up. And then in Indiana, where they don't change time zones, you had all those teams to watch. So that's just sort of a benefit of being there. That's Tucker. I'm JB, and a fan joins us in the cage. What's your name? Where you're from? What's your question for Tucker?
My name is Austin Friedman. I'm from New Jersey. And my question is, what inspired you to be a catcher?
Well, my dad caught when he was playing, so that has a little bit to do with it. But as I grew up, I got everybody else got faster, and I really didn't. So the playing the infield didn't really work. So I found like my best position was behind the plate, and it transitioned into professional baseball, and then I'm lucky enough to obviously be here in the major leagues, and hopefully I can stick around a while playing catcher. So I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy the intellectual side of it, the strategy side of it. So it's fun for me, and like I said, I hope I can do it for a long time.
Well, that's a great question to wrap this one up on. Tucker, did you have a good time?
I did. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. I hope I can do it again sometime.
We'd love to have you. Huge thanks to you. Huge thanks to the fans. And folks, that's it for this time. We'll see you on the next round of the Edward Jones Chatting Game.